The world is on the brink of monumental changes. And as 2025 approaches, uncertainty looms in every corner. Political unrest in Europe, particularly in France, threatens to escalate, while Asia faces mounting economic and geopolitical challenges. In the United States, speculation around the health and future of influential leaders, including Donald Trump, fuels growing apprehension. It's as if the world is teetering on the edge of a transformative era, where every event could shift the course of history. Yet, history has shown that chaos often leads to reinvention. From the collapse of empires to the emergence of unexpected leaders, uncertainty has always been a precursor to change. What lies ahead may feel overwhelming, but within the challenges are opportunities for growth and innovation. Will we rise to the occasion or succumb to fear? If you're as curious and concerned about the future as we are, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the conversation. Let's navigate these uncertain times together. Our world today faces an unprecedented array of challenges that test the resilience of individuals, societies, and nations alike. From climate change to political instability, the hurdles before us are vast and interconnected, requiring a unified response in an era marked by division and self-interest. Economic strains. The global economy stands on fragile ground, as inflation, soaring debt levels, and widening inequality create a perfect storm of instability. Supply chain disruptions, exacerbated by geopolitical tensions, have made basic commodities more expensive and scarce. Small businesses struggle to survive, while major corporations wrestle with the pressures of sustainable growth. In emerging economies, millions are at risk of slipping back into poverty, undoing decades of progress. The rise of automation and artificial intelligence adds a new layer of complexity. While technological advancements promise efficiency, they also threaten traditional jobs, leaving countless workers without clear paths forward. Policymakers grapple with balancing innovation with inclusion, a challenge that remains largely unmet. Geopolitical tensions. Globally, political dynamics have grown increasingly volatile. From the escalating conflict in Ukraine to the tensions in the South China Sea, power struggles threaten international stability. Nations find themselves caught in a web of alliances and rivalries, where one misstep could lead to catastrophic consequences. Even in regions without open conflict, internal unrest is rising. Protests over inequality, corruption, and human rights abuses have erupted across continents. Leaders face mounting pressure to address the grievances of their populations, but many fall short, deepening the divide between governments and their citizens. Climate crisis. Perhaps the most urgent challenge of our time. Climate change continues to wreak havoc on ecosystems and communities. Unpredictable weather patterns, rising sea levels, and devastating natural disasters are no longer distant threats, they are daily realities for millions. Yet, despite mounting evidence and widespread calls for action, meaningful progress remains elusive. Global summits produce lofty promises, but implementation often lags behind. The window for meaningful action is narrowing, and the cost of inaction grows with each passing year. Social fragmentation. In an age of connectivity, society has never felt more divided. The Internet, once hailed as a tool for unity and knowledge, has become a battleground of misinformation and polarization. Social media platforms amplify echo chambers, fostering distrust and eroding the foundations of democratic discourse. Communities worldwide face identity crises as they navigate cultural shifts and generational divides. The youth demand change. while older generations seek to preserve traditions. This clash of values fuels social tensions, making it harder to find common ground. A call for action. The challenges of today's world are daunting, but they are not insurmountable. History has shown that adversity often sparks innovation and unity. The question is, will we rise to meet the moment? Or will we allow division and complacency to dictate our future? At the heart of this is the need for collaboration between nations, communities, and individuals. Solutions require empathy, creativity, and courage. Whether it's advocating for climate action, supporting equitable policies, or simply engaging in honest conversations, every effort matters. If you're inspired to join this journey of change, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Together, we can face the challenges of today's. In the face of a rapidly changing world, many of us are confronted with uncertainty. Whether it's personal struggles, professional setbacks, or broader global crises, uncertainty is something we all encounter in one form or another. However, it is how we respond to this uncertainty that defines us and shapes our future. I still remember a time in my life when I felt overwhelmed by the sheer weight of uncertainty. It was a few years ago when everything in my life seemed to be spiraling out of control. Professionally, I was in a career I had once been passionate about. But over time, the joy had faded. The company I worked for was facing financial difficulties, and rumors of layoffs were circulating every day. It was a stressful and unpredictable environment, one where my future seemed increasingly uncertain. Personally, I was also struggling. Relationships in my life had become strained, and I was facing deep questions about my identity and purpose. The pressure to perform in my professional life compounded my internal struggles. I found myself doubting every decision I made, questioning whether I was on the right path, and fearing that I had missed the mark in both my career and personal life. As I navigated through this difficult period, I realized that I wasn't alone in feeling uncertain. So many people I spoke to seemed to share similar experiences of instability, anxiety, and a general sense of being stuck. What I began to understand was that uncertainty, though difficult to face, was a universal experience. It's something that everyone, at some point, must confront. But more importantly, it's how we respond to that uncertainty that ultimately matters. I made a choice to stop waiting for things to improve on their own and took small, intentional steps toward change. First, I focused on reclaiming my sense of self. I took time to reflect on what truly mattered to me, what brought me joy, what I valued, and what I wanted to contribute to the world. This was not an easy process. It required honesty and vulnerability. And at times, it felt like I was unraveling parts of myself that I wasn't ready to confront. But it was necessary. Simultaneously, I decided to make a bold decision in my career. I left the job that was no longer fulfilling and decided to pursue something entirely different. The choice was terrifying. The fear of failure was overwhelming. But I knew that staying in a place of comfort, even if it was miserable, would only prolong my dissatisfaction and keep me from realizing my potential. The transition wasn't immediate or smooth. I faced setbacks, encountered moments of doubt, and struggled to adjust to the new path I had chosen. But over time, I started to see the fruits of my labor. Slowly, I regained confidence in my decisions and began to find purpose in the work I was doing. The uncertainty that once held me captive began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of clarity and direction. One of the most profound lessons I learned during this period of my life was that uncertainty is not a permanent state. It is simply a phase. A moment in time. That passes once we take proactive steps to confront it. We cannot control every aspect of our lives or the world around us. But we can control how we respond to the challenges that arise. There were moments when I wanted to give up. When I felt like the weight of the world was too much to bear. But I discovered that resilience doesn't mean never feeling uncertain, it means acknowledging the fear and moving forward anyway. It's about building the courage to take the next step. Even when the future remains unclear. As I look back on this journey, I see a different person than I was before. I am more resilient, more self-aware, and more capable of navigating life's challenges. The uncertainty that once felt like an insurmountable obstacle has transformed into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. I now understand that uncertainty is a natural part of life. It's something we all face. But it's also something we can rise above. When we embrace it, learn from it, and allow it to propel us forward, we unlock our true potential. The key is to remember that every challenge, every moment of doubt, is an invitation to evolve, to adapt, and to become the best version of ourselves. For anyone currently facing uncertainty, whether in their career, relationships, or personal life, I encourage you to take that first step. Acknowledge the fear, but don't let it control you. Look within and find the strength to move forward. Remember, uncertainty doesn't last forever. But the growth you experience while navigating it will stay with you for a lifetime. If you're inspired by this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. You're not alone in your journey. And together, we can overcome the uncertainties of life and thrive in the face of challenges. As I reflect on my journey through uncertainty, I realize that there were two essential pillars that helped me navigate the challenges I faced: faith and resilience. These two qualities, often intertwined, became the foundation upon which I rebuilt my life. Through them, I discovered profound lessons that continue to shape my outlook and actions today. 1. Faith is the anchor. At the onset of my struggles, I found myself questioning everything. Doubt and fear were constant companions, making it hard to move forward. But in the midst of this turmoil, I realized that faith, whether in a higher power, in the universe, or in my own abilities, was the anchor I needed to steady myself. Faith is not about having all the answers or understanding every twist and turn in life. It is about trusting that, despite the unknowns, there is a greater purpose unfolding. For me, this faith was rooted in the belief that everything, no matter how difficult, was happening for a reason. It allowed me to surrender the need for control and to trust that the right path would reveal itself in due time. In my darkest moments, when the weight of uncertainty felt unbearable, faith gave me the strength to keep going. It reminded me that the journey was not just about the destination but about the lessons I would learn along the way. Whether it was finding strength in prayer or simply taking a deep breath and trusting that I was on the right path, faith became my lifeline. It didn't always provide immediate answers, but it offered the reassurance that I wasn't alone in my struggles. 2. Resilience is built through adversity. While faith gave me the strength to endure, resilience taught me how to bounce back and continue moving forward. Resilience is often misunderstood as simply being tough or strong. But it is so much more than that. It is the ability to adapt, learn, and grow through adversity. It is the capacity to acknowledge pain, face challenges head-on, and keep going despite setbacks. I learned resilience by embracing failure as part of the process. Each time I faced a setback, I would ask myself, what can I learn from this? Instead of allowing failure to defeat me, I viewed it as an opportunity for growth. When I made mistakes, I didn't beat myself up or let them define me. Instead, I used them as stepping stones to becoming better, more skilled, and more aware. Over time, I realized that resilience is not about avoiding failure, but about how we respond to it. Every obstacle I faced presented a chance to practice resilience. Whether it was a missed opportunity in my career or a personal relationship that didn't work out, I chose to learn from the experience and move forward stronger than before. One of the most important lessons I learned about resilience is that it's not about bouncing back to who you were before the challenge. It's about evolving into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling future obstacles. Adversity may not always be something we can control, but resilience gives us the power to transform challenges into stepping stones. 3. Embrace the power of patience. Another key lesson I learned on my journey was the importance of patience. In a world that constantly demands instant results, it can be easy to forget that real growth takes time. I had to learn how to be patient with myself and with the process. During my period of uncertainty, there were times when I felt frustrated by the slow pace of progress. I wanted immediate results, whether it was in my career, personal life, or emotional healing. But I came to understand that good things take time, and meaningful change doesn't happen overnight. Patience became a tool of resilience, allowing me to keep moving forward even when progress seemed slow. Faith and patience go hand in hand. Faith gave me the belief that things would work out in their own time, while patience allowed me to trust the process. I had to learn that life doesn't always unfold according to my timeline, but rather according to a rhythm that is beyond my understanding. Embracing patience allowed me to focus on the present, to take each day as it comes, and to trust that everything would fall into place when the time was right. 4. Community is key. While faith and resilience are deeply personal qualities, I also learned the importance of surrounding myself with a supportive community. No one is an island, and navigating through uncertainty is often easier with the encouragement and support of others. I realized that I didn't have to face my challenges alone. Reaching out to trusted friends, family, or mentors allowed me to gain perspective and strength. Sharing my struggles with others not only lightened the load but also allowed me to gain new insights that I might not have discovered on my own. The people in my life provided a sense of belonging and reassurance that I was not alone in my journey. Through community, I also learned the power of giving and receiving support. During times when I was struggling, I found that helping others through their own challenges gave me a sense of purpose and fulfillment. It reminded me that no matter how tough life may get, there is always something I can offer to others. It might be a kind word, a listening ear, or a helping hand. But these small acts of support can have a profound impact, both on others and on ourselves. 5. Growth comes from uncertainty. Finally, I learned that uncertainty is not something to be feared, but something to embrace. In fact, it is often in the uncertain moments that we experience the most profound growth. Uncertainty forces us to step outside of our comfort zones, to confront our fears, and to challenge our assumptions. When we face uncertainty, we are given the opportunity to discover new strengths, new passions, and new perspectives. It is through uncertainty that we become more adaptable, more resourceful, and more confident in our ability to navigate life's challenges. The very act of facing uncertainty head-on transforms us into individuals capable of achieving far more than we ever thought possible. Conclusion. The lessons I learned through faith and resilience are not just about surviving uncertainty, they are about thriving in it. By embracing faith, building resilience, practicing patience, nurturing community, and growing through uncertainty. We can transform the challenges of life into opportunities for growth. Each lesson is a tool that helps us not only survive but thrive in the face of adversity. Life will always present us with unexpected challenges. But with the right mindset and the tools of faith and resilience, we can face them head-on, confident in our ability to emerge stronger and wiser. Donald Trump, a figure whose presence in the political and cultural landscape remains a subject of intense debate, offers a complex narrative that spans beyond politics. He is both revered and reviled, admired and criticized. A character who seems to defy the norms of traditional leadership. To understand Trump, we must consider the man, the mystery surrounding him, and the moment in history that made him a force to reckon with. The man, unconventional and charismatic. Donald Trump's rise to prominence was anything but conventional. A businessman turned television personality. He was thrust into the political arena not as a career politician but as a self-made entrepreneur with an outsized personality. His style, bold, brash, and often controversial, made him an enigmatic figure from the start. Trump's charisma is undeniable, he has an uncanny ability to command attention. And his straightforward, unfiltered manner resonates with millions who feel disconnected from the political elite. His rhetoric, often blunt and unapologetic, challenges the status quo, giving his supporters a sense of empowerment and urgency. However, his persona is polarizing. To some, he embodies the voice of the people, an outsider unafraid to challenge the establishment. To others, he represents a dangerous authoritarian figure, whose disregard for norms and ethics makes him an unpredictable leader. Regardless of where one stands, Trump's ability to captivate the public's attention is undeniable. His larger-than-life image, both in business and politics, sets him apart from most traditional leaders. The mystery, a figure who defies categorization. One of the most fascinating aspects of Donald Trump is the mystery that surrounds him. Despite being one of the most scrutinized individuals in modern history, Trump's motivations, beliefs, and long-term goals remain unclear to many. His decisions often appear to be driven by instinct rather than strategic planning, making it difficult for both his allies and adversaries to predict his next move. In many ways, Trump is an enigma. His actions often seem contradictory. He champions free markets while engaging in protectionist policies, portrays himself as a man of the people while indulging in wealth and luxury, and advocates for strong borders yet has close ties with foreign leaders. This unpredictability makes him a dynamic and polarizing figure in modern politics. The mystery of Trump lies in his ability to simultaneously embody both the anti-establishment figure and the embodiment of elite wealth and power. Moreover, Trump's relationship with truth and facts adds another layer to his mystique. His frequent use of misinformation and his disregard for traditional media standards have led some to question his commitment to transparency and truth. In a world where truth is often contested and political narratives are shaped by those in power, Trump represents a challenge to the established norms of political communication. His mystique is partly built on this tension between what is said and what is true, leaving his supporters and critics alike constantly trying to make sense of his words and actions. The moment, a turning point in American politics. Trump's election as the 45th President of the United States marked a defining moment in American politics. It was not just his victory that shocked many, but the manner in which he did so. Running on a populist platform, Trump successfully tapped into the discontent of millions of Americans who felt overlooked and marginalized by the political elite. His slogan, "Make America Great Again," resonated deeply with those who believed that the country had lost its way, economically and socially, and that a new direction was needed. Trump's victory was also a reflection of a broader global trend of populism, nationalism, and anti-establishment sentiment. He emerged at a time when the traditional political structures in the US and around the world were being questioned. And many people were looking for a leader who would break from the past. Whether it was his promise to bring back jobs, his tough stance on immigration, or his critique of foreign trade deals, Trump's platform resonated with a large portion of the electorate who felt that Washington had failed them for years. But Trump's time in office was also marked by unprecedented challenges. From his controversial handling of domestic protests to his impeachment trials and the pandemic, his presidency represented a clash of ideologies and approaches. With the country deeply divided over his leadership, the question of Trump's legacy is still being debated, with some viewing him as a disruptor who gave voice to forgotten Americans, and others seeing him as a dangerous figure who undermined democratic norms. The impact on America and the world. Trump's influence extends far beyond the borders of the United States. His foreign policy decisions, including withdrawing from international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal, altered global dynamics. His "America First" approach reshaped America's role on the world stage, emphasizing national sovereignty and economic self-interest over multilateral cooperation. These policies have had lasting effects, both in terms of the relationships the U.S. has with its allies and adversaries, and the broader global order. Domestically, Trump's legacy is a topic of ongoing debate. While his supporters point to the tax cuts, deregulation, and judicial appointments as major accomplishments, his critics argue that his divisive rhetoric, his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic, and his failure to address racial tensions left a deep and lasting scar on the nation. The aftermath of his presidency has sparked a re-examination of America's political institutions, its media landscape, and the role of social media in shaping public opinion. Conclusion: a complex figure in a tumultuous era. Donald Trump is a man of contradictions. A figure who defies easy categorization. His rise to power, his time in office, and his enduring influence on American politics and the world are a reflection of the tumultuous era in which he emerged. Whether he is seen as a champion of the people or a destabilizing force, Trump's legacy will undoubtedly continue to shape political discourse for years to come. In many ways, Trump embodies the complexity of the current moment, an era of rapid change, global uncertainty, and deep political divisions. His story is not just about one man's ascent to power, but about the broader forces at play in society, culture, and politics. As we look ahead, it is clear that Trump's impact will continue to be felt long after his time in office, serving as a mirror for the challenges and opportunities facing America and the world in the 21st century. In a world filled with uncertainty, it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed, unsure of where to begin or how to make a difference. But the truth is, change doesn't require grand gestures or monumental shifts. It can start with small, consistent actions. The key question isn't what others can do, but what can you, individually, do today? Start with self-reflection. One of the most powerful things you can do today is take time for self-reflection. In our busy lives, it's easy to rush through the day without pausing to think about our goals or how we're truly feeling. Take a moment each day, whether it's through meditation, journaling, or just a quiet break, to reconnect with your thoughts. This small act of slowing down can provide clarity, allowing you to focus your efforts on what truly matters. Make a positive impact on your circle. While global issues are complex, change often begins in our immediate surroundings. You can make a difference in your own community, whether by offering a helping hand to a friend, supporting a colleague, or simply being there for someone who needs to talk. These small acts can have a ripple effect, creating a more connected and supportive environment. Your actions don't have to be grand to have an impact. Take action, no matter how small. Even if your goals seem far-reaching, the most important thing is to start. If there's something you've been thinking about doing, whether it's a project, a personal goal, or a career change, take that first step today. It could be researching, making a phone call, or setting aside time to work on your project. Progress often comes from consistent small efforts, not from waiting for the perfect moment. Invest in your personal growth. Growth is a lifelong journey. And today is another opportunity to invest in yourself. You might read a book that inspires you, learn a new skill, or reflect on areas where you'd like to improve. The more you invest in your personal development, the better equipped you'll be to handle challenges and seize opportunities. Small investments in yourself can lead to big changes over time. Foster positive habits. The habits we form today shape our future. Whether you're aiming to improve your health, boost your productivity, or foster a positive mindset, starting small can create lasting results. Whether it's going for a walk, practicing gratitude, or setting aside time for learning, these habits will add up over time and set you on a path to success. Help others achieve their potential. Sometimes the greatest impact comes from helping others. You might mentor someone, volunteer, or simply encourage a friend who's struggling. By helping others achieve their potential, you not only make a positive difference in their lives but also strengthen your own sense of purpose and connection. Adapt to change. The world is constantly evolving, and the ability to adapt is key to thriving in this fast-paced environment. Be open to new ideas, changes, and challenges. Whether it's adopting new technology, learning new skills, or adjusting to shifting circumstances, embracing change allows you to grow and stay relevant. Stay grateful and resilient. Gratitude is a powerful tool for staying positive, especially during tough times. Taking a moment each day to acknowledge what you're grateful for can shift your perspective and help you stay grounded. Resilience is built through the ability to bounce back from setbacks. And practicing gratitude makes it easier to stay focused on the good, even in difficult circumstances. Focus on what you can control. While we can't control everything, we can control how we respond. Instead of worrying about things beyond your control, focus on what you can influence today. Channel your energy into actions that align with your values and goals. This gives you a sense of purpose and helps you stay focused on what truly matters. Conclusion. Change starts with you. Whether it's through small acts of kindness, personal growth, or taking consistent action toward your goals, today is the perfect day to begin. No step is too small. The actions you take today, no matter how minor they seem, can set the foundation for a better tomorrow.